Now, today is Palm Sunday. Last night was the first night of Passover. So our timing is perfect. Passover, also known as the Festival of Unleavened Bread, was one of the three major pilgrimage festivals that brought people from all around to crowd into Jerusalem, around the streets, toward the temple. It's the Jewish Freedom Festival, which is sort of the spiritual equivalent of our secular Independence Day. It recalls God's deliverance of the children of Israel from their slavery to Pharaoh in Egypt. The Romans understood that this time was ripe every year for revolt against them as occupiers of the Jewish homeland. So in fact, they sent troops, extra troops, to Jerusalem every Passover. They wanted to keep the peace. The Jewish religious leaders also wanted to keep the peace. They had an arrangement, you see, with Rome that protected the people and their religious observances, even if they hated the arrangement at all. Betraying Jesus to the Romans as an insurrectionist would be pragmatic politics. It would keep the status quo and avoid unnecessary bloodshed. One man for the many. A sacrificial lamb, don't you know? Like one that would be slaughtered and eaten on the first night of Passover by all who commemorated that night. The irony is thick. The tension is building. Jesus is close by. He's in Bethany at the house of one named Simon the leper. I mean, even a leper has a name in Mark's gospel, as do most male characters. Not the women, not this woman, not even this woman whom we're supposed to remember every time the gospel is preached. But some things never change, do they? Here we are 2,000 years after Jesus said about this woman that every time the gospel is preached, she should be remembered. And we can't even get our churches to call women to be their preachers. Time after time we hear, even in our progressive Baptist churches, that they believe that women may be called to preach, but their church isn't ready. Ready? Really? Culture is like crabgrass. It's dug in deep and hard to get out by the roots. Assumptions about male privilege are deep-rooted in Christian culture. But it's high time the Christian part roots out the patriarchal culture part. This is not social tinkering that the church can take or leave. This is directly linked to the gospel. Jesus tells us that right here in this story. Wherever the gospel is preached, in the whole world, what she has done will be told in remembrance of her. So, what did she do to receive this blessing that we would rather ignore than honor? Well, she understood the gospel. That's what. She recognized the meaning of the life and work of Jesus that others were missing back then in that day and still in our day, which is this: you have to die to live.